Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over how to get more kills slash high kill games on console in Fortnite Season 4. As I'm sure a lot of you guys are starting to realize, the Season 4 update actually changed way more in Fortnite than I was initially expecting. I mentioned before how much it changed the weapon meta, but a lot of other things like the loot pool and map were pretty heavily altered as well. So when it comes to getting more kills and high kill games, which is basically what I specialize in, usually my overall strategy isn't changed too much season to season. However, with Season 4, that really isn't the case at all, and if you've watched my gameplays, you may have noticed some significant differences. So those are all things that I'm going to discuss in this video, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first and arguably most important factor when it comes to getting as many kills as possible is where you land and your overall map rotation. For the last 2 to 3 seasons or so, my go-to strategy when it came to that was actually ridiculously simple. Land at the agency slash the authority, clear out the area, get the drum gun or the grappler in Season 3, and then patrol the area between Salty and Pleasant until the storm pushed me out. That was absolutely perfect because it was a super hot POI with tons of people landing there, it had insane loot, and most importantly, it was in the dead center of the map. Sure, you were definitely going to be able to get a lot of kills at landing places like Caddy, the Shark, Pleasant, or something like that, but in my opinion, the agency slash authority was a step above all of those other places, and it's why I landed there in probably 95% of my high kill gameplays. But in Season 4, even though the authority is still in the exact same place, it's no longer a mythic POI, and the loot there is absolutely terrible as a whole. So because of that, nobody really lands there, which obviously makes it a pretty bad spot for getting a lot of kills. I really believe this is going to be one of those seasons where you kind of have to pay attention to the bus path when the game starts to pick the best possible landing spot. Like I alluded to earlier, since the authority was literally smack dab in the middle of the map, there was really no bus path that wasn't at least somewhat close to it, and a lot of the time the bus pretty much went directly over it. But for non-central POIs, where the bus comes in plays a massive factor in how that spot's going to be off the rip. If you stubbornly try to land Sweaty Sands, for example, every game, which is towards the top left corner of the map, if you get a bus path that goes bottom right corner or even just far right at all, it's going to basically guarantee that nobody's landing Sweaty with you, and the POIs around it will probably be pretty empty as well. So it's definitely important to have alternatives, but in my opinion, the best POI for high kill games this season, and the one you're going to see me land at the most, is Doom's Domain. So this is one of the quote-unquote mythic POIs in Season 4, but in general, they aren't as good as the mythic POIs from Seasons 2 and 3. However, this spot does have a lot of positives, which is why I think it's hands down the best for getting a lot of kills. First off, even though I wouldn't say it's a central POI, it also isn't really all the way at the outskirts either. You're definitely closer to the middle of the map than about 8 to 10 other towns, and you're sandwiched right in between 3 POIs that usually get a lot of action, which are Salty, Sweaty, and Coral Castle. Doom's Domain also has a total of 38 chests, which is actually pretty insane, and I'd be surprised if that wasn't the most of any POI on the entire map. And of course, since it's a mythic POI, it has a vault which you can open by killing the boss. And the insane amount of loot available at Doom's Domain is even more important than ever before due to the new chest spawn mechanic. For some reason, they nerfed the chest spawn rate from 100% down to 50%, so landing spots with a ton of chests and a guaranteed vault are going to be even more OP now. The only negative though compared to the previous mythic POIs is that I really don't mess with any of the weapons that the boss drops. They aren't really weapons, it's actually like an ability that allows you to shoot a giant ball of fire with like a 20-second recharge, and even though I've seen that it's pretty insane for griefing bases and competitive, I think it's less valuable for getting kills than an extra slot for healing or a weapon. The other 2 POIs that I will land at, and I think you've seen me do that in gameplays already, are Salty and Lazy. Neither of those are as good as Doom's Domain, but if the bus is going directly over them, I will land there from time to time. And in terms of rotations for high kill games, your best bet is to clear out where you land, then rotate towards the authority and patrol that general area. Not only the town itself, of course, because I talked about earlier how not too many people land there, but in that small central area of the map, you can pretty much alternate between checking Salty, Risky, Frenzy, the Authority, and then even back to the Doom's Domain area as well. As long as you're constantly doing that, you're gonna find fights way more frequently than any other area on the map. The next very important aspect of getting high kill games that I don't think people talk about enough is the importance of consistent mobility. This is a big change from last season especially, because there are no longer launch pads in the game, and for my fellow agency/authority players, there's no grappler either. The grappler is undoubtedly the single best mobility option in Fortnite history, and everybody knows how good launch pads are for getting around the map quickly, so no longer having either of those are a pretty big loss. So if you don't play your cards right, you're going to be doing a lot of regular running around the map, and with how quickly people seem to die nowadays in the mid game, you're going to miss out on a ton of kills by doing that. So it's absolutely crucial that whatever region of the map you mainly patrol around, you really start to learn where the helicopters and cars spawn in that area. Right now, the helicopter is by far the best mobility option in the entire game. It covers distance incredibly quickly, it has a lot of health, it can hold all your teammates in team modes, it's just absolutely perfect for finding fights 24/7 and racking up kills. Another reason why I like Doom's Domain so much is because there's a helicopter spawn pretty much directly in the middle of it, so as long as you prevent any trolls from landing on it and just flying away, once you clear out the town, you're absolutely set. And I'll just quickly pop a map on the screen right now of all the helicopter locations, and as you can see, that general area I talked about between Sweaty and Frenzy has 4 different helicopter spawns, and that's another one of the reasons that I love it so much. Cars are definitely also solid as well, and the biggest positive of them is that there's way more car spawns than helicopter spawns. However, they definitely don't cover distance as quickly, they're a bit more difficult to handle, and they have much lower health. So don't get me wrong, I very much prefer cars over walking, and they are a strong mobility option, but helicopters are clearly better, and you should definitely prioritize them. The final really important tip for getting more kills and high kill games in Season 4 is actually predicting enemy rotations based on the location of the safe zone. This is always going to be an important skill for getting high kill games, but now that launch pads are gone, I feel it's even more important than in previous seasons. If let's say the third safe zone goes to the bottom right corner of the map, you need to understand that everyone that was at the top left corner, top middle corner, bottom left corner, etc. are all likely going to rotate in a relatively straight line towards the safe zone. So if you position yourself near the far left side of that safe zone, you should get a constant wave of enemies coming towards you. Now of course that isn't guaranteed because some teams may have rotated early, or maybe they have a helicopter, or just choose to rotate from a weird angle, but at the end of the day, your goal when trying to get as many kills as possible isn't to find everybody, it's just to put yourself in the best situation to eliminate as many players as possible. It won't always work because Fortnite can definitely be fluky, as I'm sure you all know. I'll get a 20 kill game, then do the exact same strategy next match and only find 12 people the entire time. But I can live with those games because I know my strategy gives me the best possible shot of succeeding. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. What is the highest kills that you've gotten in a single game so far in Season 4? And if you can't remember that, what's the highest kills you've ever gotten in a game? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.